Hey, this is Matt once again. We're back to another video, and this is a paid request for Chad, aka Ninja Tech, which is a pretty cool name. I like that. Thank you for the request. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, topic, reaction, commentary, review, re-review, video game playthrough for an hour, full playthrough, random ranking, tier list, commentary, reaction, movie news topic, whatever the case. PayPal is usually the best bet. I do have a Patreon and a Cash App for those interested, because people have asked about those. All those links are down below in the info box, and I will get to them as soon as I can. For those who sent them, thank you so much. Now this is for Paulie, which he mentioned it was 1997, but I looked up, it was actually 1998 this came out. And I've seen this film a couple times throughout the years, and it's a cute film. I didn't think it was a hilarious film, but I thought it had a bit of a charm to it as a family film. I think it's fairly harmless. And I liked a decent amount of the cast. Jay Moore is in the film, actually two roles. One, he plays a guy who is a bit of a robber, but he's also the voice of Paulie, this bird that can talk. Has a bit of an attitude, has a bit of a wisecrack, but it's not too much just constantly riffing on pop culture or ripping off lines from other movies, or there's not a whole lot of juvenile humor with bird crap jokes or fart jokes. Like, if this film was made today, you would see a lot of that type of stuff. How much on the soundtrack can we get from a song or music from the 80s, and what kind of pop culture reference, what kind of lines. Say hello to my little friend. It'd be a whole lot of those type of lines taken and ripped up and put into the film. We gotta get a bird poo joke in there. Like, it doesn't do a whole lot of that, which I kind of appreciate. But the other cast, you got Tony Shalhoub, who's great. Loved him. I love the TV show Monk. He was in The Siege. He was in 13 Ghosts, the remake. He's been in a lot of stuff, and it's always great to see him in there. Very capable actor. You got Cheech Marin. Love Cheech ever since grew up watching his Cheech and Chong movies with him and Tommy Chong. Gina Rollins, very capable actress. Buddy Hackett, which this might have been one of the last films he did, but he was a comedian from way back in the day, doing films like The Love Bug, among other stuff. Bruce Davison, he played a senator. The main senator in the first X-Men movie was a Senator Kelly. I think his name was Kelly. He was Willard in the original Willard movie. So a lot of recognizable people. And the story is that Tony Shalhoub plays a Russian who becomes a janitor of this animal testing lab, and in the basement is this bird locked up who doesn't want to talk at first. And Tony Shalhoub is being kind of nice, and he's new to the job, and he's feeding it mangoes and stuff or is cutting up fruit. You want some? Until it finally talks, and as it says, I sold out for a piece of fruit. Why don't you talk more? Because talking gets you in trouble. And then a good chunk of the film is him telling his story of how he got there. Now, Tony Shalhoub, I definitely liked him as the Russian immigrant. I think he does the accent fairly well. He got a couple chuckles out of me. Like, I'm Russian. I like long stories. Or at the end where he's like, no, I am not fire. I am quit. Which I thought, as a guy who's supposed to be portraying a character who doesn't have the best handle of the English language, and he's not a goofball, he's not the butt of jokes. He has a bit of a warmth to the character, and he's able to stand up for himself and do the right thing. And I think Tony Shalhoub did a great job. It was one of the highlights for me was him. But pretty much the Paulie was a bird. When he was a baby, was brought to this little girl, Marie, which there's a little girl. Which I recognize the little girl. I know I've seen her in another film, but I cannot remember what the film was. But I thought the girl was cute in terms of she was very kind. She had a bit of a speech impediment problem. which is tough to do that without being annoying. For example, the kid in Halloween 5 stuttered, and it's a kid, but it's like the way the character was portrayed was really irritating. But it wasn't the case here. Like, you felt sorry for her, and you hoped she would get better. And pretty much they teach each other how to talk, which is how it rationalizes how Paulie is able to talk. Yes, I know it's a flight of fancy, but it's a family film. I'm willing to go along with the ride. And I thought, again, the girl they picked, she seemed very sweet, very innocent. And then her dad, which I think is Matt Craven. I remember he was the guy in Jacob's Ladder, the 1990 film, where he's the one that made the drug, the ladder. He was in a few other films as well, and he's a dad that comes home. It's just a complete, utter dick. Like, he sees how his daughter has a speech impediment. You tell he has almost like a, maybe not quite disgust, but like, what's wrong with this kid? Why is she so fucked up? Like, I could read what was in his mind, man. I could see it. And then, like, there's a bit where the bird, she goes out the window, and then, of course, there's a close call. Takes the bird away. But I'm like, this dad's just a dickhead. Just a complete, utter dickhead. And like I said, Jay Moore as Paulie, he didn't annoy me. Now, maybe some people, they'd be annoyed and irritated by the voice of the bird, but I don't know, he didn't annoy me. I thought, yeah, a bit of a wisecracker attitude, but it didn't go too overabundant on it. Like, compared to, like, a film that was made today. I thought I didn't get a whole lot of laughs out of him, but it was fun enough that, and plus I don't mind Jay Moore as an actor. I really don't. I've liked him in other movies. He was in Go. He was in other stuff, and maybe that's another reason I don't mind him as an actor. So definitely one of the bigger roles he got. I don't think this film did that well, but still. So he's sent away, and it's pretty much his travels of going from one place to the other. He gets to a shop where Buddy Hackett owns it, and that's where you see the human Jay Moore play another character who's perplexed at this bird insulting him. You teach him that? I do like the way he says, "No, I can tell you're ugly all by yourself." No, I fucked up the line. "I could tell you're ugly all by myself." I thought that was kind of a funny line that he says. But he doesn't last too long. It makes me wonder if there was more scenes with the Buddy Hackett stuff. And I thought that you got this guy who's a comedian. He doesn't really get to be utilized a whole lot. You think they could have utilized him a bit more? Like, this is the guy that did comedies way back in the day. He doesn't have a whole lot of lines of dialogue to use, so it almost makes me go, well, why did you cast him in the first place? I just like to see him, but like I said, I don't know if there were scenes shot and they were deleted. Could very well have been. But if not, then yeah, I think they could have utilized him a bit better. There's a woman who is an artist, Gina Rollins, who buys the bird, teaches him about manners. Okay, Toots. Oh, yes, Toots. Oh, yes, please. Teach him a little bit of manners. And, I mean, maybe this would come off as melodramatic to the end of spoilers, but I thought it had enough heart that it worked for me. I remember I saw this back in the day on a tape my aunt sent us. Because we only had 4 channels. And so my aunt would send us quite a few videotapes of all sorts of family films and cartoons. Scooby-Doo, Doug from Nickelodeon shows, Ren and Stimpy a bit. Always very helpful, always very kind to do that. She definitely helped a lot. She's the reason I first found X-Files, because that was one of the things she taped on there. Which is weird, because it didn't seem like that would be her kind of show, but I just, hey, maybe the kids will like this, so we'll always thank her for that. among many other reasons. But yeah, what was it? Oh yeah, the deal more into spoilers. Gina Rollins teaches him a bit about manners. They have a nice bond with each other. You can tell she's growing more and more blind. And the bird could go, but he stays there to help her out, and until, as he puts it, the cat got her, and she passes away. And I thought it worked well enough that it wasn't too melodramatic that made me want to pew Dayglow, and it wasn't so out of left field that it felt like it was a huge tonal shift. Like, the whole film had this kind of, heartfelt quality throughout the flick. Same with the meeting Cheech Marin, because he gets to L.A., and there's other birds there, including female birds. That I'm honestly surprised they didn't try to do this whole thing where, like, he tries to talk to the bird, but he could tell very quickly this bird just mimicked what he said and didn't really understand what he was saying. Again, if they did this film today, there'd be this whole thing where Paulie would try to hook up with the bird, and they'd probably play the song, "He's a low rider." Like, it'd be this whole thing, and probably do like this CGI dance thing and try to impress her, and thankfully that's not the case here. This is a better time period than today's age of movies. I mean, the 80s are great, but hell, the 90s, I thought they were great as well. At least, maybe just I'm partial to it because I grew up in that era. But yeah, it's just these little, I guess you call them adventures, but these little moments that he sings with Cheech Marin and the other birds. Which is funny enough, the song Cheech Marin sings with the birds is the same song that Antonio Banderas sings at the beginning of Desperado. Ay, 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 amor. Yeah, I know it's a common song, to be fair, but I just thought it was ironic that a film that Cheech Marin was in, Desperado, is the same, mariachi type of song at the beginning of that movie as the same song as this. But Antonio Banderas got to sing this one. Now Cheech Marin gets to sing the same song this bit. And yeah, I know that's a common song, but just, two 90s films with Cheech Marin that involves that song and someone singing guitar with it. So for some reason, I know it's maybe just because I saw Desperado again like 1 or 2 weeks ago, so it's fresh in my mind. And I kind of smiled. Oh, okay, that's. I don't know if that was done on purpose. Probably not, but it still made me smirk. I don't think it needed this one bit. I think this could have been completely taken out, where Jay Moore sees the bird, and I guess why they do it. Pretty much, Jay Moore captures the bird during one of these moments where it's singing with Cheech Marin. Talks with the bird, says, "Hey, help me with these robberies," where to go in and take stuff. It gets trapped in a house, and the person just brings the bird to this lab where Bruce Davison and his men are at. Then they start noticing that it can talk. But honestly, it would have been fine if Jay Moore grabbed the thing and then took it to the lab. Think it could make some money. Oh, whatever, it's just mimicking. Oh, no, look what it's doing. And then he gets paid some money, and then it's all good. The whole thing of it trying to get it to rob places, I don't think anything of that was needed. I don't think it was that funny. I think it just took up time. I mean, I know a lot of people don't remember this film, but even if they did, that's not really a part they don't remember. Could have been completely taken out. And again, just have Jay Moore capture the bird. That way make some money. Goes to the lab. I know a guy. Like, the whole middle section of that whole little subplot could have been completely taken out. It would have moved the pace of the film a bit better, and you wouldn't have missed anything. So that's one little nitpick I have. It didn't really resolve much of anything. And then the lab, pretty much he's tested. He had to read all the flashcards. Bruce Davison promises, listen, if you help me out, I'll help you get Marie. The bird overhears that Bruce Davison looks like we're never going to let him go. We'll keep going because this is like a cash prize for him. The lottery, he hit the lottery. So when the big event happens, the bird doesn't say anything. Bruce Davison gets pissed, puts him in a basement, and lets him stay there. Now, I don't know what Bruce Davidson's goal was for later on. I guess just let the bird stay there for the rest of its life. I don't really know how much time took place between that event and when Tony Shalhoub got there. It makes it seem as if it's been quite a while, but I don't know if it was a month. I don't know if it was a year. I don't know. And you kind of sitting there going, really, all this time you still don't have this grudge, Bruce Davison? I mean, it just seemed as if the movie felt it needed a villain. We need a villain, so just make Bruce Davison the villain, and just make him so headstrong, so bug up its ass that, yes, he's still butthurt. Needs his pussy powdered. And he needs a diaper for his baby. Little baby Bruce Davison, little baby bitch. Put the diaper on your head, you shithead. It's like, we need a villain, so here's a villain. And Tony Shalhoub gets the bird out, and without too much effort, and then Bruce Davison just, okay. Like, he's a bit like, I just said, what else can I do? I'm like, you could have let the bird out in the first place, but it's not like he's trying to be like, listen, let's make a deal. You know, I lost this grant, and that's probably why he's being butthurt. He lost this grant. He lost this chance of money. But I guess maybe he's like, I don't know, it wasn't the most interesting part of the movie for me. I'll put it that way. It's like, we gotta have a villain, so here's a villain. And it wasn't, over the top mustache twirling villain. Wasn't over the top or campy. But it's like, okay, whatever. And then I did like the way it ended. I did like the reveal, spoilers, that Tony Shalhoub gets to Paulie to where they found this address. And there's Marie, but she's grown up. She's an adult now. I do like the idea that Paulie's looking at her and goes, get away. That's not her. Get away from me. Which, you can't blame Paulie. Number one, it's a nice reveal to the audience of, damn, that's how long it took, this whole journey. Which you can understand, because birds, well, depending on the environment, the circumstances, they can live quite a long time. And we never really specialized, how long he was at these certain things. Like, he could have been at the Buddy Hackett stuff for a month, for a year. Same with Cheech Marin. That could have been 3 months. That could have been 2 months. Or with Gina Rowlands. I mean, with Gina Rowlands, that could have been 5 years. And that's why it does make me intrigued for a little bit of, like, how long was he at each one? Like, with the animal testing lab, was he there for 5 years? Was he there for 2 years? Like, and the reason it doesn't tell us that is to give us the reveal of, Marie is an adult. I did like the little bit of hesitance of Paulie, like, who the hell are you? Like, no, that can't be it. Like, just hard for it to wrap its brain around until it hears her scene, and then everything's fine and dandy. And then you get, like, Paulie, like, trying to hook up Tony with Marie. And he's like, oh, no, no, no. But then I just stay for a bite to eat, okay, and maybe they'll get together. So I thought that was kind of a nice little ending for Tony Shalhoub's character. I thought the actors they got to play Marie fit well for being the adult version of that little girl. And listen, it's a movie that I think would work well for kids. It's not too cringeworthy. It's not too eye-rolling as an adult watching it. It's a cute, harmless family film that I thought still worked today, especially with having such a pretty decent cast involved with it. That, maybe they don't have a whole lot to do compared to other movies they're in, but it was still nice to see them in there. So, overall, I didn't mind Paulie. I liked it for what it was. With that said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.